Hello guys, welcome to another video. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. Today's video will be very special for you, because today we are going to see top 10 low-end PC games with the best storylines. All of the above games are playable with a PC which has at least 2 GB of RAM, a dual-core processor and any integrated GPU is enough. This video doesn't include games like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or GTA 4 etc. Because majority of people knew those games, and every games in this list are super underrated, so it's worth watching till the end. All of the featured games are numbered randomly as well. So, don't get offended if your favorite game is at the bottom. Before getting into this video, make sure that you have subscribed to our channel, because I make more of these and even better content for gamers. And most importantly, share this video to your low-spec buddies. Don't forget about that like button too. Let's get started. At number 5 spot we have Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is a psychological thriller game developed by Quantic Dream. In this game, players follow the adventures of 4 different characters as they try to solve a string of murders committed by the origami killer, so named due to the origami that he leaves at his crime scenes. Heavy Rain is very choice-driven, and your decisions will have a large impact on the ending of your story. Probably the best thing about this game is the graphics. It is rendered in a hyper-realistic style, and the characters definitely look like real people. With its dark mystery and stunning graphics, Heavy Rain is a game that will grip you to the grisly end. There are 4 narratives that players will get to play in Heavy Rain, and each character offers a different perspective on the cases based on their occupation and how they got themselves involved. There is a reason why certain things happen, and there are a lot of scenes in the game that may look unnecessary yet hold so many clues about the case. You have to be attentive because who knows, maybe there is more to that golf game than just a simple hobby. A murder mystery would not be complete without shocking plot twists. As you are able to piece the clues together, you will discover many secrets and learn about things that you never suspected to be possible before. The surprising twists in the game also is able to leave an unforgettable impression on players because of Heavy Rain's great depiction of scenes and intense musical scores in the background. While the graphics are not as refined and smooth as you would expect, it is still able to deliver a great performance in making the game a remarkable horror and psychological thriller. The storyline will certainly keep you on your toes and entertained for hours. Heavy Rain has the basic and common elements of a psychological thriller, and yet it remains to be unique and unforgettable. You might even say that it isn't like any other. Getting a chance to play 4 different characters at the same time and allowing you to see the game from different perspectives is also one of the reasons why Heavy Rain is enjoyable and entertaining. It is one of the best games based on detectives. So, it's extremely worth trying. At number 4 spot we have Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is the reboot of the Lara Croft adventure series, and it's fantastic. It's a kind of origin story, with a Lara who starts out much more vulnerable and less assured than the original. Great graphics and plenty of action and drama await. While the puzzling and tombs are present in the new Tomb Raider, there's much more to this game. Combat is much improved, and there are more activities, like hunting, to do. Lara can now be upgraded, as she gains experience in the game. The opening relies a lot on cutscenes and quick-time events, but eventually the game settles into more solid gameplay. It's a lot more violent than earlier games. Tomb Raider has an excellent one-player campaign, and the obligatory multiplayer tacked on. This isn't a game you'll buy for multiplayer, but thankfully the single-player more than makes up for it. Once you've got through the opening scenes, which are very exciting, but don't require much skill, Tomb Raider starts to develop. Lara is still great fun to control, but this time she sounds like she's putting much more effort into her climbing and jumping. Lara is much less of a superhero in Tomb Raider, and it feels like she's still learning. Controls are well implemented for general gameplay, but some of the quick-time events don't feel right. However, the gameplay overall easily matches that of Uncharted. Since the beginning, Tomb Raider games have had great-looking environments, and this time is no exception. It's very often a beautiful game, with stunning views and excellent effects. Voice acting is good throughout, and the ambient effects are great. Tomb Raider is an excellent action-adventure. It feels very different to the originals, with a more human Lara, and much more violence. It's darker than the Uncharted games, but while there is lots of combat, it's still a Tomb Raider game, with enough puzzles to keep you entertained. At number 3 spot we have Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2 is the sequel to one of the most popular titles released by Ubisoft in recent years. An adventure that mixes action and stealth missions, set in Renaissance Italy. This second installment in the Assassin's Creed saga sees you as Ezio, a member of the Italian nobility who faces his fate after witnessing the murder of his family by a bunch of Templars. With the help from other characters in Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio will seek revenge while trying to thwart the Templar conspiracy. Just like its predecessor, Assassin's Creed 2 stands out for its awesome graphics, especially in the game's environment. Cities like Venice or Florence are depicted with a high level of realism, which makes them a pleasure to explore. Plus, Assassin's Creed 2 has also improved some flaws from the first title, such as the lack of secondary plot lines and challenges, and the repetitive pattern in some missions. Assassin's Creed 2 is a very decent successor to the first game of the saga, with which you'll travel back in time to a period full of mystery, conspiracy, secrets and much more. At number 2 spot we have Call of Duty Black Ops. Call of Duty Black Ops differs from most previous installments, which would involve a usual 3-country campaign, while Call of Duty Black Ops features 2 playable countries, Russia and the USA, but only has an American campaign. Players play from the perspective of Captain Alex Mason of the MACV SOB, Jason Hudson of the CIA, and Russian-born soldier Viktor Reznov of the Red Army. The game is set in the Cold War era. Much of the Call of Duty Black Ops campaign is told through the eyes of SOG and CIA operative Alex Mason, primarily through flashbacks. Mason awakens strapped to a chair in a room filled with monitors, bombarded with questions by 2 unknown interrogators about a numbers broadcast. Mason then recalls several events from the past in an attempt to answer their questions, setting up the missions of the game. The first mission is a flashback to April 17, 1961. Mason and his comrades, Frank Woods and Joseph Bowman, take part in the Bay of Pigs invasion to assassinate Fidel Castro and assist CIA-sponsored Cuban exiles in overthrowing Castro's communist regime. Mason apparently succeeds before realizing that the CIA's Cuban rebels are losing against Castro's armed forces. Therefore, he decides to stay behind to protect the extraction plane with Woods and Bowman aboard from an oncoming blockade. Mason is then captured by the real Castro, who reveals that Mason had assassinated a decoy and hands him over to Major General Nikita Dragovich as a gift. He is held captive at the Vorkuta Gulag, a Russian labor camp, for 2 years. I don't want to give spoiler for the story anymore, but this game has a fantastic story with a big plot twist at the end. I highly recommend you to try this game. Before getting into number 1 spot, please subscribe to my channel, as 97% of you are not subscribed. Hit the subscribe button now. Finally, at number 1 spot we have Last of Us. The Last of Us is an incredible action and adventure game that follows the story of Joel and Ellie, 2 souls trying to survive a zombie-infested world. In this game, players will be facing a lot of troublesome situations that would push them to make the hardest decisions that may question their morality and humanity. With just the right amount of combat, exploration, and storytelling involved, The Last of Us has very immersive gameplay that players can easily get lost in. Contrary to most zombie-themed games, The Last of Us does not only focus on death, gore, and destruction. The game's storyline is actually one of the things that make this game successful and loved by many. Players are introduced to the game's protagonists Joel and Ellie, 2 very people who fall into an unlikely yet strong partnership. They both come from entirely different walks of life, with Joel, who is already used to violence and death as a long-time smuggler, and Ellie, who is still young and naive. The dangerous quest starts Joel being tasked to smuggle Ellie to Fireflies, a facility that is trying to find a cure against the zombie infection. What makes Ellie so special is her known immunity against it, and that is why Joel must be able to bring her to Fireflies. The tiresome journey is filled with bloodshed and challenging situations that would only make Ellie and Joel's bond stronger. If at first Joel claims he does not care about Ellie at all, this changes completely in the latter part of the game. In fact, Joel's change of heart will be a factor in how the game and the story reaches its end. There will be no spoilers for what happens in the finale, but if there is one thing players must know, it is that The Last of Us puts an effort on diverting from cliches and defying people's expectations. With how The Last of Us combined an interesting plot with smooth and realistic graphics, it certainly leaves a good impression to its players, making it worthwhile and unforgettable to many. If you are looking for something that is more than just action and horror, The Last of Us is a must-try. The game will let you experience what it is to live in a crumbling world teeming with the undead. It is a zombie game like no other. So, that's all for today. If you aren't satisfied with just 10 games, don't forget to check out my playlist for low-end PC games, which I linked in the card above. So, thanks for watching guys. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon, so you won't miss our future videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.